When it comes to guys, nothing makes you more angry than a woman who is trying to be hard to get. It's annoying how there is a lot of silence, mixed messages, and small signs of attention here and there. You start to doubt everything. Did I say something wrong? Should I send her another text? Is it me? I'm going to stop you there because the truth is that it's not you. It's a game, but a planned one. You're not the first or last person to get caught in it, trust me. But here's the kicker. The problem isn't her playing hard to get. The real issue lies in how we, as men, respond to it. Most of us fall into the trap of overthinking, overgiving, or, worst of all, overchasing. And why wouldn't we? Society has conditioned us to believe that if a woman pulls away, it's our job to win her back, to prove we're worth it. What a myth. I have a secret for you. Everything changes the moment you stop chasing and start standing in your power. In the usual sense, this isn't about getting revenge. There's no planning or small talk here. It's about getting your pride back and becoming a man of high value who demands respect instead of confusion. Today, I'm going to guide you through 7 transformative steps to handle a woman who's playing hard to get. These aren't cheap tricks or sneaky ways to get what you want. They come from growing as a person, having faith in yourself, and that timeless knowledge of Stoic psychology. You will not only know how to deal with her actions, but also how to improve yourself in the process. And trust me, if you do that, you'll either get her attention or learn she wasn't worth it in the first place. Are you ready to learn the secrets that could change how you deal with both this situation and all of your other relationships? Let's get started. If you read all the way to the end, I'll tell you the most important thing that will change the way you think about every encounter from now on. Step 1. Focus on your value. When a woman pulls away or plays hard to get, you might want to pay extra attention to everything she does, thinks, and plans. What if, instead of asking yourself why she's not talking to you, you asked yourself, how can I become so magnetic, so sure of myself, that her behavior no longer bothers me? It's not just a way to pass the time. It's about getting back in touch with your worth. Men of high value don't chase, they draw. And being attractive doesn't mean you need attention badly. That comes from having a life that is so full and lively that people are drawn to it. How does that look to you? It could be stepping up your job, starting a project you're really interested in, or spending more time with friends who make you feel good. It's about becoming a man who makes his own fun in life instead of waiting for someone else to do it for him. Your next question might be, will this really work? Will she forget about me if I don't chase her? That's where the magic is, my friend. When you pay attention to yourself, you give off an air of quiet confidence that is hard to ignore. Stoicism is all about controlling your own feelings and deeds instead of reacting to things going on around you. You shouldn't act like you don't care or play games. It means putting your health and happiness above everything else. Imagine that you're so caught up in your own life that you don't even notice her mixed messages. You're not avoiding her to be mean. You're just too busy being awesome to worry about her games. What then takes place? She starts to notice. Why? Because there is nothing more attractive to a woman than a man who can take care of himself and only shares his life with her when she is worthy. You have to write down 3 things in your life that you haven't been doing because of this situation. Is it your workout plan? Your creative projects? Spending time with people you care about? Now, promise to put money into those areas this week, not because you think it will make her notice you, but because it will make you feel good about how smart you are. Remember that the point isn't to be hard to get back. It's to really get better so that her games don't affect you anymore. Mindsets for being calm come into play here. When you master your mind, no one can hurt you. And when no one can touch you, you're attractive. Guys, here's the question. What's one thing you can do right now to get back in touch with your worth? But don't do it to make her chase you. Do it to remember yourself what a king you are. Please leave your replies in the comments and let's help each other on our way to becoming more self-sufficient. Watch out for step 2, where we'll learn how to match her energy and stop stretching ourselves too thin. I'm sure you won't want to miss it. Step 2. Match her energy. Can I ask you a question? How many times have you caught yourself thinking too much about every text, every image, and every little pause in her answer? How many times have you stayed up late to rewrite a message so that it sounds interested but not desperate? There were times when we watched her every move like a spy trying to figure out a puzzle. The truth is that you're not supposed to figure out what she means. You should pick up her energy. Why are you leaning in if she's acting distant? Why are you being so clear when she's not? Men of high value don't take on too much. They know that relationships aren't like a solo show, but like a dance. When you stop following her and start matching her energy, the whole situation changes. Allow me to explain. Step 1 is to stop and look around. Don't send her a follow-up text if she takes a while to answer. If her plans aren't clear, don't fill in the blanks with your own ideas or commit too much to her schedule. Show her energy with calm confidence. It's not about playing games. It's about being sure of your own worth and letting her take the lead if she wants to. This is where things get interesting. When you stop going too far, you make room for her to step in. That is the place where the magic takes place. When women feel that a man is real and not trying too hard, they are naturally drawn to pursue him. Let's look into this more. Why do we overextend in the first place? That's because society has taught us that hard work means value. We believe if I show her how much I care, she'll see how great I am. But the truth is, overextending yourself only makes you look too eager, which takes away from your appeal. Men of high value show stoicism by staying cool, collected, and unaffected by what other people do. Imagine that it takes her hours to answer your text. You don't suffer over what she might be thinking. You just go about your day. You do what makes you happy. Work on your projects. Go to the gym or meet a friend for a drink. You're so caught up in your own life by the time she finally answers that her delay doesn't even seem important. And believe me, nothing makes a woman more interested than a man who doesn't make her his world. One fear that many people have is, what if matching her energy makes her lose interest? Let me change that. If her lack of interest makes you disappear, was she ever really interested? If a woman likes you, she'll know when you pull away and make changes to fit your needs. Besides, if she doesn't, you won't have wasted time on someone who wasn't worth it. Matching her energy doesn't mean being cold or withholding love. It means balancing things out. You get your mental balance back when you stop overextending yourself. You no longer feel tired or worried because you're not putting your energy into a situation that only benefits one person. Instead, you stand your ground calmly, giving off an air of power and mystery that is hard to resist. A useful tip: the next time you want to go too far, stop and ask yourself, am I matching her energy, or am I overcompensating? If the second option is true, shift your attention to something that makes you happy, like a hobby, a workout, or even some quiet time to think. Your energy is a gift that not everyone can have. Watch how she acts when you stop going too far. Does she try to get in touch with you more often? Does she make her plans clear? Or does she let the link fall apart? What she says will tell you everything you need to know about how interested she is and how emotionally grown up she is. Because you stayed true to yourself, you'll win no matter what. Set a goal for yourself to match her energy for the next week. Don't write twice, explain too much, or think too much. Think about what she says and see how it changes things. This small change could surprise you with how powerful it is. Please let me know if this hits home for you. In the box below, write what you think. Don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing ideas based on Stoic ideals and personal growth. In Step 3, we'll talk about how to set limits with class, which is a skill that every man of value should have. Step 3. Set clear boundaries with class. This is what it looks like. She's sending mixed messages by making plans 1 minute and then stopping them the next. You don't know where you are because you feel like you're walking on changing sands. It must be tiring, right? However, a woman can only treat you in different ways if you let her. Because of this, setting limits isn't a choice. It's a must. Setting limits doesn't mean controlling what she does. They're about being clear about what you want and how you want to be treated. Boundaries are beautiful because they are based on self-respect, not on ultimatums or emotional outbursts. These things help you stay calm and polite while making your worth very clear. Knowing your own limits is the first thing you need to do before you can set boundaries. What kinds of actions are you okay with? In what place do you draw the line? For instance, if she keeps canceling plans without a good reason, you need to decide if you're okay with this, or if it makes you feel less important. Being a high-value man means being completely honest about what you want and not giving in to any pressure to get it. Allow us to now talk about how to set limits without coming off as tough or hostile. Your tone is the key. It's not about making things difficult when you go into a talk with calm confidence. It's about making things clear. As an example, she changes plans at the last minute with a weak reason. You don't react with anger or silence. Instead, you say, I know things come up, but I value my time and would rather have clear communication. Let's make plans for a time when you know you can keep your word. Can you tell the difference? You're not hitting her, but you're also not putting up with what she does either. You are clear about what you expect from her, but you are also leaving the door open for her to do better. Follow-through is another important part of setting limits. What you do is more important than what you say. If you've told her what you expect and she still doesn't do it, it's important to show that you mean what you say. In this case, if she consistently wastes your time, you might want to avoid interacting with her. It's not about hurting her. It's about putting your peace first and showing that your standards can't be lowered. Some guys are afraid that setting limits will make a woman want to be with someone else. The truth is that limits don't turn off the right person. They bring them in. A woman of high value admires a guy who knows what he's worth and isn't afraid to stand up for it. That's how she'll know when to step up if she's really interested? What if she doesn't? You just kept your money from going to someone whose values don't match your own. Let's also talk about the deeper psychic level of this. When you tell her no, you're not only telling her something, you're telling yourself something too. You're reaffirming your sense of self-worth and the idea that you deserve respect and work from others. Stoic psychology is based on the idea that you should control your emotions and stay true to your ideals. As an exercise, think about a recent time when you felt disrespected or unappreciated. What edge could you have put up to keep the peace? Now, think about how things might have gone differently if you had simply told them what you expected. This kind of self-reflection is very important for getting the courage to set limits in the future. Limits also keep things in balance. They keep you from being too forgiving or a slave in a relationship. Setting clear limits makes room for both sides to work together and help each other. Just like when you dance, you and she both take steps until you find a beat that works for both of you. If she doesn't want to go out with you, it's clear she's not ready for the kind of relationship you're building. Finally, keep in mind that setting limits is a constant process, not a one-time thing. What you want and need change as the relationship does. Don't be afraid to go back and re-evaluate talks if you need to. Boundaries aren't solid walls. They're loose rules that you can change based on the situation while still staying true to your values. In the end, one of the most powerful acts of self-respect is building walls. It means that your time, energy, and feelings are important and should be treated as such. When you get good at this skill, you can handle relationships with ease and build up your inner strength, which is an important part of being stoic and growing as a person. Here's a question for you. What limits have you been afraid to set, and how can you start to do so with style and confidence? As we go on, think about this. Stay tuned for step 4, where we'll talk about how to reward hard work instead of making excuses. This is an attitude that every high-value man needs to change the game. Step 4. Reward effort, not excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have you let someone off the hook? When she changed plans at the last minute and sent a sweet message, you thought, well, at least she reached out. Or when she wasn't seen for days and then sent you a flirty text, you thought, well, at least she's back. Sense a pattern? You're not by yourself. But here's the harsh truth. Making excuses is not the same as working hard. And each time you give them a prize, you teach her that you'll take less. A man of worth knows the difference between what he says and what he does. He knows that real effort isn't just making empty promises or cute excuses, but is constant, deliberate, and clear. You take back control of the story when you learn to praise hard work instead of giving in to excuses. Let us break this down. First, understand how people make reasons to keep you interested. Women who play hard to get often only give you enough attention. They hang on by a thread long enough to keep you interested, but not long enough to meet your needs. This is where Stoic thinking can help you. Don't respond to what she says. Instead, only think about what she does. Does what she does match what she says she will do? Does she always try, or does she only show up when it's convenient for her? Do not fill in the blanks when she says she wants to spend time with you, but isn't clear about the plans. Don't go out of your way to set up plans or make it happen. She'll follow through and do the work herself if she's really interested. You can tell what she really wants by watching her movements after you step back and let her take the lead. Your next thought might be, what if I scare her off by not giving her what she wants? Now ask yourself this: why would you want someone in your life who can't give you what you want? If a woman cares about you, she will do what it takes, and you should thank her for it. It's not about being rude or playing games when you reward hard work. It's about making a good feedback loop that makes everyone want to do their best. For example, let her know you appreciate it if she takes the time to plan something nice. A simple, "Thanks for all the work you put into this," goes a long way. It's not about giving her too much praise. It's about encouraging the behavior you want to see more of. However, let us also talk about what not to do. When she gives you a reason for not showing up or being consistent, don't get angry or give her a long explanation. Tell them calmly, "I value your honesty, but I also value consistency, and I need to know I can rely on you." This will make it clear how you want to be treated without any extra drama. The magic happens when you stop giving people reasons to say sorry. You become a mirror. If she wants to be a part of your life, you show her what she needs to change by the way she acts. It's not just about her. It's also about getting your time and energy back. You'll have more money to spend on people and things that really matter when you stop wasting it on empty promises. Let's do something useful. When she next gives you a reason, wait before you answer. Does this fit with the relationship I want? Don't be afraid to take a step back if the answer is no. Your cool detachment or silence says a lot. It's a gentle but firm warning that you have to earn my attention. This might be hard for you if you're used to being flexible or understanding. Remember that you're not being hard. You're just setting a bar. Men who are worth a lot don't lower their standards to keep someone around. They put them up and wait for the right person to come up to meet them. Let me give you a challenge. Think of a recent situation where you let someone off the hook instead of rewarding their hard work. What other way could you have responded? It's not about sorrow to think about these times. It's about growth. Align your deeds with your values to attract relationships that make you feel good. If this step hits home for you, please let us know what you think below. Don't forget to subscribe for more energizing ideas based on ancient Stoic concepts. We'll talk about how to ignore her games and get your energy back in step 5. Your time is too important to waste on people who aren't in it with you. Step 5. Ignore her games and focus on yourself. Isn't there a strange kind of power in being quiet? When someone expects a response like anger, urgency, or even excitement, and instead gets calm indifference, the whole situation changes. This is what it means to ignore her games. It's not about acting like you don't care. It's about putting your energy where it means most, on yourself. Why does this work so well? Women who play hard to get often enjoy the chase, the approval, and knowing they have the upper hand. Mixed messages aren't always a sign of confusion. They're often done on purpose. They're meant to make you work harder than she's willing to. You're adding to the game every time you respond, whether it's by texting first, asking for more information, or showing anger. What happens though when you stop? Something amazing happens when you pull your energy away. Your participation in the game is no longer valid, so it ends. Your silence acts as a mirror, making her look at how she's been acting. It's not about getting back at her or manipulating her. It's about taking back your mental and emotional space. You could spend that time on your own goals, interests, and peace of mind instead of thinking about what she did. This isn't avoiding, it's taking control. Let's say she sends a secret text. It's not specific enough to require a real answer, but it's vague enough to get your attention. You don't answer right away, or talk about what she said with your friends. Instead, you stop. You put the phone down. You might hit the gym, get stuck into a project, or call a friend who always makes you feel better. You understand that her message doesn't deserve the attention you may have given it before when you finally read it again. This change in attention is strong. You get back in charge when you stop doing things that are rude to your time or your mental health. For example, you stop changing your plans to fit her needs if she consistently shows up late or cancels at the last minute. No matter if she shows up or not, you go ahead with your plans. I don't wait for people who don't value my time, your actions say in a strong but quiet way. This way of thinking comes from the ideas of Stoic psychology. The Stoics thought that you should let go of things you can't change and focus on the things you can. You can't change the games she plays, but you can change how you react to them. When you choose not to respond, you keep your peace and your honor. Now, some guys are afraid that ignoring her games will make her want to be with someone else. However, if she's playing games, she's already mentally halfway out the door. She's not being pushed away by your quiet. It's giving her time to decide if she wants to step up or step out. It's not a loss if she picks the second option. It's just clear. You've set the stage for a better, more balanced relationship if she decides to step up. You can also work on becoming the best version of yourself while ignoring her games. This isn't meant to make her jealous or make a point. It's really about getting better at yourself. You become attractive to everyone when you focus on growing as a person. Well, not just her. People are drawn to people who are sure of themselves, independent, and have a sense of purpose. What else is true? If you stop playing her games, you stop being predictable. She's not sure where she stands with you anymore. And that's interesting. Women who play hard to get often depend on being able to count on you. They know you'll text back, try to fix things, and be there for them no matter what. When you leave that well-worn road, however, things change. All of a sudden, she's the one who is curious, chasing, and wondering. This isn't about making things mysterious just to be interesting. It's about living your life so fully and honestly that your actions give off an air of independence. Detachment is already there because your goals have changed. You don't have to make it happen. So how are you going to do this? First, figure out what behaviors feel like games, sending mixed signs, communicating in a confusing way, or making vague promises. Figure out what you'll do or what you won't do next. It could mean that you have to wait longer to answer her texts. It could mean not going along with last-minute plans. It could mean putting yourself first, even if she tries to get you to return. You'll notice something powerful as you do this. Your energy will feel lighter. After she breaks up with you, you'll have more time for the people and things that really count. You'll dream more, laugh more, and feel more in line with what you're worth. The main idea behind Stoicism is to find peace and strength in focusing on what you can change, yourself. Finally, let's talk about the worry that they will lose her. It's not a loss if ignoring her games makes her move away. It's just more information. That means she wasn't interested enough to meet your standards, and you don't want that kind of person in your life. On the other hand, if she starts to step up by being steady and putting in real effort, things will get better going forward. Ignoring her games isn't just a plan in the end. It's a way of thinking. You're telling yourself that you value yourself too highly to do things that are bad for you. It's about putting the focus back where it belongs, on living a life so full and full of joy that you are in charge. Why are you still here? Bring back your energy, your strength, and your peace. In step 6, we'll talk about how to let her feel the weight of your absence, which is a subtle but powerful way to change the situation. Step 6. Let her feel the weight of your absence. Have you ever noticed that most people don't value something until it's gone? When their favorite cafe closes, they wish they had gone there more often. When a close friend moves away, they understand how much that person meant to them. In relationships, the same rule holds. You give her a chance to understand how valuable you are when you let her feel the weight of your absence. But let's be clear, this isn't about tricking or joking around. It's about realizing a basic fact. People put what they fear losing first. If she's been enjoying your time, energy, and attention too much, taking a step back will show her what life is like without them. Trust me, if you've been a warm, supportive, and stable person in her life, your loss will feel like a cold wind. So how do you do this in a way that is respectful and gets the job done? Getting away is the most important step. You don't have to stop caring. You just have to stop spending too much. Detachment means putting your own peace ahead of how she acts. The main idea behind Stoicism is to focus on what you can change, like your deeds and feelings, and let go of what you can't. You're not hurting her by taking a step back. You're just getting your energy back. Imagine that instead of reacting right away to her random texts, or trying to fix the way she acts, you change your attention to something else. You're still nice and even warm, but you're not as easy to get in touch with. It gets harder for you to answer. Your time is more valuable. In a subtle way, you say, "I'm here, but I'm not waiting." Take a look at this situation. Let's say she drops plans 3 times with an unclear reason. You don't show sadness or try to change the date. Instead, you say, "That's okay. Let's meet up again another time." And then you don't call or text again. She now has the ball in her court. She has to choose. Does she care about you enough to take action, or will she let the link fade? You win no matter what, because you showed that your time and attention are worth something. The element of mystery that this method produces is what makes it so powerful. You become interesting when you stop being predictable. She starts to think, why isn't he chasing? Does he not care anymore? Is his attention now on someone else? It's not about being hard to get. It's about living your life in a way that doesn't depend on her games. But let's talk about how this makes us feel. Especially if you're used to giving, pulling back can feel weird. What if she doesn't notice? Might be on your mind. What if she doesn't mind? The truth is that if she doesn't notice or care that you're not there, that doesn't say anything about your worth. It says something about how invested she is in you. In that case, taking a step back is the best thing you can do, because it lets you give your energy to someone who really needs it. You're not only teaching her a lesson when you let her feel your absence, you're also making yourself feel better about yourself. Detachment doesn't mean shutting down mentally. It means keeping your happiness in check. This calm certainty pulls you in. It usually makes the other person change how they act. She has to face her actions, or lack of actions, when she learns that your world doesn't revolve around her. Follow through with this step. Just taking a break for a day or two won't do. This new relationship needs to stay in place until she shows real change. If she tries to reach out, be kind but firm. If she steps up, give her a prize. But if she keeps changing her mind, don't change your path. Remember that this isn't about persuading her of your worth. It's about living in line with it. Come back to the big picture. What does her life look like when you let her know you're not there? You'll have more time and energy to spend on the things that really matter, like your goals, your hobbies, and your relationships with positive people. The way you see yourself will also change. You start to see your own value when you stop trying to get approval from people who are just playing games. Now that's real confidence, not from her praise, but from telling yourself good things. As a useful practice, write down 3 things you love to do but haven't been putting first lately. It could be going to the gym, starting a new book, or making plans for a trip with friends. Now make a promise to do those things this week. This will not only help you change your focus, but it will also remind you of how good life can be when you put your all into it. Last but not least, let's change what it means to let her know you're not there. You're not just trying to keep your distance. You're showing her and yourself that your energy is important and shouldn't be wasted on someone who doesn't return it. Making room for relationships that fit your worth is what it's all about. In the last step, we'll talk about how to tell if she's really worth your time, or if you should just walk away with your head held high. This is where everything fits together. Step 7. Decide if she's worth it, and walk away if necessary. At some point in every story, the hero has to decide whether to stay and fight or run away and get their freedom back. This is the time to deal with a woman who is being hard to get. This is where you take a step back, look at how she's acting, and decide what to do that shows you respect. Should you spend your time, energy, and emotions on her? Or is it time to leave to make room for something better? To be clear, leaving isn't a sign of giving up. It's the most self-respecting thing you can say. It's not about giving up. It's about getting rid of things that don't help you anymore. Letting go is also sometimes the bravest thing you can do. Let us start with the process of evaluating. Think about what she has shown you through her deeds, not what she says or what she might do, but how she acts all the time. Has she tried to find a middle ground? Has she respected your limits and put your bond first? Or has she made you feel unsure, unappreciated, and unhappy? Your choice will be based on the answers to these questions. And let's be honest, why are you still hanging on if her behavior has been all over the place or rude? Do you think she'll change? Or is it that you're afraid of being by yourself? These thoughts are real, but they shouldn't control what you do. Keeping someone who doesn't meet your standards won't keep you from being lonely. It will only make it last longer. Think about how your best friend would feel if they were in your place. He's been dealing with a woman who is cold, unreliable, and only half-hearted. What do you mean? Would you tell him to keep trying? Would you tell him he deserves better? Taking a step back from our feelings can help us see the truth sometimes. Use the same level of clarity with yourself. It's not just her that makes you want to walk away. It's also what you're telling yourself. You keep telling yourself that you don't deserve more every time you stay in a situation that doesn't match your worth. But every time you leave something that isn't right, you tell yourself and everyone else, I value myself too much to settle. It's not necessary to be dramatic when you walk away. You don't have to say something big or demand an end to the conversation. Sometimes, the best ways out are the ones that are quiet. You just stop spending, chasing, and getting involved. It's okay for you to be absent. You're building the life you deserve instead. This way of doing things isn't cold, it's polite. It comes from the idea of Stoicism, which tells us to be calm, clear-headed, and true to our values. What if I walk away and she doesn't chase me? Is a feared question that comes up a lot. What if she doesn't understand what she's lost? The hard truth is that she was never really interested in you if she doesn't chase you. And she was never able to appreciate your worth if she doesn't see it. Your worth doesn't rely on someone else noticing it. It exists on its own, unaffected by what she does or doesn't do. It also makes room for something new and better when you walk away. You can make room for relationships that are in line with your worth when you let go of things that aren't working. There's more to this than just relationships. It's about your whole life. When you let go of what drains you, you make room for what fuels you. Picture a garden that needs to be cleared. By pulling out the weeds, you make room for flowers to grow. When you break up with a woman who doesn't meet your standards, it's like pulling weeds. It's good for you and makes room for growth and beauty. And believe me, the right woman will love the garden you've grown. This is where Stoic thinking can help you the most. You're not walking away to prove a point to her. You're doing it to prove a point to yourself. Taking control of your feelings, keeping your honor, and staying on your road are all important. The Stoic said that having a life that is in line with our values makes us happy. You are living this idea to its fullest when you choose to leave something that doesn't work for you. What does life look like after you leave? It might feel weird at first, like going into the unknown. But soon, something will change. Once her games are over, you'll feel lighter and more free. You'll have more energy to spend on yourself and the people who really make you feel good. The most important thing is that you'll find your own power again. As a helpful hint, write her a letter, but don't send it. Let out all the emotions you've been holding in, including anger, hope, and sadness. After that, read it out loud to yourself. This time, to think about things will help you work through your feelings and understand why you want to let go. Throw away the letter when you're done. This act of symbolism helps you stick to your choice to move forward. Finally, let's change how we think about leaving something. It's not the end, it's the beginning. You are the author, the main character, and the hero of this new story. You're making a story worth telling when you choose to be yourself. Choose to stay or leave is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in the end. You have to decide how much you value yourself and what you're willing to accept at this very moment. Trust that the choice you make is the right one, as long as it fits with what you value. You can never go wrong when you pick yourself. Remember that your worth is fixed and never changes. Stay strong and in charge. The best is still to come.